Good afternoon and welcome to the Monday, September 9th, 2024 City of Carpinteria City Council regular meeting. And may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lee?
Here.
Councilmember Nomura?
Here.
Councilmember Solorzano?
Here.
Vice Mayor Alarcon?
Here.
And Mayor Clark.
Here. Now will you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Starting out this afternoon, we have some proclamations. The first proclamation is declaring September 15th, 2024 to October 15th, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month. And we're going to read the proclamation.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Whereas Hispanic culture constitutes the foundation of history of the state of California and the Southwest region of the United States, and Hispanics are justly proud of their rich and diverse cultural heritage, having made positive contributions to the social, artistic, linguistic, and intellectual aspects of our society. And
whereas generations of proud, hardworking, enterprising Hispanics have contributed to and have strengthened our communities with countless achievements and their abiding values in the home and family. And
whereas Hispanics increasingly impact the political, economic, and social growth of our community and state and constitute approximately 43% of the city's total population and approximately 40% statewide per the U.S. Census. And
Whereas, as we observe Hispanic Heritage Month, the city encourages all members of the community to recognize the accomplishments and contributions of Hispanics in our community, and the importance of social justice and fair representation for the Hispanic community in all aspects of city life and experience.
And now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Carpinteria does hereby declare the period September 15th, 2024 to October 15th, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month in the City of Carpinteria in recognition of the many contributions Hispanics have made to Carpinteria, California, and the country, and to promote greater awareness of the rich history and culture of the Hispanic community. So can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much. A motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Now we'll take public comment on this agenda item. If anybody would like to make a public comment about Hispanic Heritage Month. It's because I'm barely able to speak. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you. Rogelio Delgado, Carpinteria resident. And I have always said that, a Carpinteria resident. I came to Carpinteria back in 1970. I was 14. And my mom, my dad were a migrant family. And to Carpinteria came my two sisters and myself. And here we are with daughters, sons. They attended Alisto Middle School, high school, and now they're in the States. And that's the Hispanic culture that we have seen since 1970. And right now, Carpinteria, 75-80% Hispanic. Schools, same percentage. And that's a huge plus for Hispanic. And believe me, that's my native language. and I'm proud of it. And I speak it whenever possible. For example, Natalia, I talked to you in Spanish for the first time, like probably a month ago or so. And I don't know if you are bilingual, but if you are, I would talk to you in Spanish. And that's the heritage, job-wise, school-wise, agriculture-wise, office jobs. We're everywhere. Not only in Carpinteria, Santa Barbara, Oxnard, Ventura, Lompoc, Chicago, Los Angeles, everywhere. And I thank this proclamation from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, Suzanne Requejo couldn't be here. She had a family emergency, but she's amazing. She plans so many events in our community with Artesanía para la Familia, Día del Libro, Día de los Muertos, mariachi classes. We are so fortunate to have her here in Carpinteria. My name is Sonia Aguila. I have been at Canalino for 27 years as an educator. I am the 2022 California Bilingual Teacher of the Year and the 2023 National Bilingual Teacher of the Year. Thank you. Thank you. We started our dual language program at Canalino in 2017-2018 with 2 kindergarten classes. We currently have 12 at Canalino and 4 at Aliso, and our first cohort is at the middle school in 7th grade, and we are just looking forward to celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, learning about Celia Cruz, Selena Quintanilla, Sonia Sotomayor. And we end with a big feast, a Frida Kahlo feast. It's really, really fun. Our students are bilingual, biliterate, bicultural, and we are just so, so proud of them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. All right, any other speakers? All right, we'll, are you going to be receiving the proclamation? Okay. All right, the next one we have is a proclamation proclaiming September 2024 as Suicide Prevention Month.
All right.
And we have another proclamation to read.
All right. Whereas this proclamation recognizes suicide as a public health problem and suicide prevention as a community responsibility, and designates and proclaims the month of September 2024 as Suicide Prevention Month, and recognizes the need to address suicide prevention on a daily basis. This is in support and recognition of the ongoing need to address issues of anxiety, depression, and suicide end.
Whereas mental health experts are firmly convinced that suicide is preventable through awareness, education, support, and treatment. And
whereas the city promotes awareness of the importance of tending to our mental health as is essential, and acknowledges that those living with mental health disabilities are deserving of care, understanding, compassion, and pathways to hope, healing, recovery, fulfillment, and inclusivity. And
Whereas, when mental health well-being is centered and promoted, the risk of suicide is decreased, and
whereas suicide is a serious public health problem that can, and my apologies is a little bit fuzzy on this this end of it, have lasting harmful effects on individuals, families, communities, and And there are many factors that contribute to suicide. The goal of suicide prevention is to reduce the factors that increase risk and increase factors that promote resistance. And
whereas the suicide risk has become more significant concern over the past few years as individuals navigate a global pandemic, adjusted to a new normal, experience complex trauma, loss, and grief, and endure increased isolation, unemployment, and many other distressing life events. And
Whereas the city emphasizes the importance of the community taking time to center themselves and do the things necessary to prioritize their mental well-being and encourage the community to utilize the tools, education, and resources offered to practice self-care and mental wellness. And
Whereas the city works collaboratively with Santa Barbara County Department of Behavioral Wellness, County Public Health, and HopeNet of Carpinteria, and appreciates the resources and services they offer to the Carpinteria community in preventing suicide. And we got a motion to approve.
so moved.
No second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 5-0, Brian. And is there a representative?
Speak afterward. We get the proclamation. Several of us will just say a few words about HopeNet and thank the city for their support. HopeNet of Carpinteria formed a grassroots organization in 2012 after the suicide of a local friend. We began to brainstorm amongst interested community members and with suicide prevention experts in California, resulting in distributing a wallet-sized suicide prevention card in Spanish and English. We started working with the agencies to bring mental health services to our residents. Anxiety, depression, and suicide have become a national public health emergency. HopeNet of Carpinteria advocates, promotes, and develops awareness of suicide prevention through trainings, our annual candlelight vigil, printing and distribution of our wallet-sized prevention cards, banners hung in prominent locations around the city, working with government mental health agencies and doing outreach activities to develop greater awareness of resources. For any of you who will be in town tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we will have our annual candlelight vigil beginning at 6 with guest speakers and a remembrance circle, followed by our mental health and wellness fair, where about 10 or 12 agencies, many of them in Santa Barbara, as well as here in Carpinteria, will have resource tables set up. There'll also be bilingual therapists who will be able to provide private therapy at that time. So please join us at the Arts Center, and Becky and Lucia will add a few more comments. Thank you, Amrita. Amrita is the president of HopeNet. So I do want to thank the city of Carpinteria for all of your support over the years. We've really appreciated it. I want to talk a little bit about local statistics. Well, actually, national statistics. So during COVID, the suicide rate decreased significantly, but then, since 2021, it has increased significantly every year. In Santa Barbara County,
In 2022, 50 people took their lives. One of those was a resident of Carpinteria, unfortunately. In 2023, there were 46 people that committed suicide, and 2 in Carpinteria. However, those people resided out of area. Up to now, through the end of June of 2024, there have been no suicides in Carpinteria, and we hope it stays that way, because even one is too many. And the other thing I want to mention is that there's a number that the entire nation should know, just like we know 911, and that is 988. If we could help spread the word about that number, only 1 in 8 people knows about that. And it is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's available 24/7. You can call that number or text or chat, and you have access to trained crisis counselors. They can help people who are experiencing suicidal, substance use, and or mental health crisis or any other kind of emotional distress. So if you or someone you know is having thoughts of harming yourself, please call 988 and please help spread the word about that. And we mentioned the cards, so we do have those in English and Spanish, and it has who to call. The main one is 988, and that will get you routed to our local behavioral wellness number. Inside, there are the warning signs for someone who may be contemplating suicide, and how to help that person, and then who to call on the front. And now Lucia will talk in Spanish about our cards. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Lucía Torres y soy miembro de HOPNet de Carpintería. HOPNet de Carpintería es un grupo de ciudadanos preocupados que brindan educación y recursos para prevenir el suicidio. Nuestra misión es mejorar el bienestar mental de los residentes de Carpintería y disminuir la cantidad de intentos y suicidios consumados en nuestra comunidad a través de información. HOPNet distribuye tarjetas como estas para aprender las señales de aviso del suicidio y poder ayudar. Las tarjetas se distribuyen en diversos lugares públicos como el ayuntamiento, la librería, en escuelas y agencias educativas y en diversos negocios locales. Recordándoles que el nuevo número a llamar es 988, esperando que sea fácil de recordar. HOPNet cordialmente les invita mañana a la vigilia anual con velas y a la Feria de Salud Mental y Bienestar, en reconocimiento del Día Mundial de la Prevención del Suicidio. Como dije, es mañana 10 de septiembre de 6 a 8 en el Centro de Arte de Carpintería, en el 865 de la Avenida Linden. En esta ocasión también se presenta una exposición de arte durante este mes con el tema de salud mental y tenemos artistas tan jóvenes como los 3 años. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Okay, the next proclamation is designating the week of September 8th to 14th, 2024 as Celebrate Community Week.
All right. Whereas the Kiwanis International, the Lions Club International, and Optimus International, and Rotary International Service Organizations have partnered together in support of Celebrate Community to focus on local community service. And
Whereas the aim of Celebrate Community is to encourage service clubs to reach out to one another to work together on projects that improve and benefit local communities, and
Whereas in recognition of Celebrate Community, Carpinteria service organizations are planning to partner on local service projects related to health and wellness, food insecurity and hunger, education and literacy, and the environment, and
Whereas the City of Carpinteria City Council wishes to recognize the important role local service organizations have in building and maintaining communities by declaring a Celebrate Community Week, and
Whereas Celebrate Community Week makes a difference by bringing attention to the important work the local service organizations and making positive changes in our community and the world through service projects. And I'm glad I could see 6-point font.
Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Carpinteria does hereby designate the week of September 8th to 14th, 2024 as Celebrate Community Week in the City of Carpinteria to recognize the hard-working efforts Carpinteria service organizations provide to the community. And I would invite a motion.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. And we'll open up the public comment period for anybody who would like to speak on this item.
Hello, my name is Susie Schneider, and this is Steve Gertis.
Gertis, yes.
Gertis. And we're representing Carpinteria Morning Rotary Club. Celebrate Community Week is a week of collective action and impact. Celebrate Community Week demonstrates the effectiveness of collaboration. During this period, service clubs around the world unite to tackle issues related to health and wellness, food insecurity, education and literacy, and environmental sustainability. By pooling resources and efforts, these organizations aim to create lasting positive changes in their local community. This year, what we have we're excited to let people know about is that we're partnering with a couple of service clubs in the community, one being Lions Club, and we will be working at the Carpinteria Boys and Girls Club on September 14th. They were awarded a $25,000 grant for innovation. I think it's called Cox Innovation. And so they need help in getting their room ready. The debut is October 3rd, and so we have a short window of opportunity. So we'll be there opening up to the community. So anyone in this room is able to contact us and volunteer. We'll be putting up blinds, painting, putting furniture together, just a lot. So Diana Arnellis, the director of the Boys and Girls Club, is really excited that we're getting together to work on that as a community project.
Thank you for your comments. Now, anybody else, any other comments from the public? Okay, we'll close the public comment period. Now, are you here to accept this also? All right, next we have introduction of new employee.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, council members. Ryan Kintz, Assistant City Manager. It's my pleasure to introduce Ryan Benson this evening. He's our new limited term management analyst. Ryan has been a valuable member of our team for the past 6 months as a management intern, and he has demonstrated exceptional analytical skills and a strong commitment to improving our operations. During his time with us, Ryan has also assisted with data analysis for revising our current conditions of employment. He played a key role in the transition of our new recreation software called RecDesk. He developed an access database to track parks and recreation rentals without me asking him to. He contributed to the development of the city's budget and departmental goals for fiscal year 25. And many other things. So I'm really excited to see Ryan take on this role. He has a unique combination of technical expertise and business acumen, which makes him a really great fit for this position. He has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from UCLA. He has experience as a systems engineer for the Department of the Navy, and he has a recent completion of an MBA from California Lutheran University. So Ryan brings a strong foundation in technical skills, complex systems understanding, and organizational problem solving. Just an outstanding individual. His skills will be a significant asset to our department and the city city as a whole. So with that, please join me in welcoming Ryan Benson to our team. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Welcome.
Hey, good evening, Mayor Clark, members of the City Council, and members of the public. As Ryan had mentioned, thank you for that, by the way. I've been an intern for the City of Carpinteria for the past several months. I've been finishing up on my MBA program, as you know. Now, I honestly am so grateful for the opportunity to be this limited-term management analyst for the general government, pulling from my Navy background, but also as my work here as a part-time employee. For the past few months, I've been getting to know all of the staff, working closely with most of the department heads and supervisors, building institutional knowledge, and I think you'll be happy to hear that I've been leaving my mark in the Carpinteria community pool. What I mean is I've been swimming in the Carpinteria pool. I'm honored to be working alongside such a solid team that is helping me discover my potential and helping me rise to a higher level of professionalism. I'd like to thank the city manager, Michael Ramirez, the assistant city manager, Ryan Kintz, management analyst 2, Teresa Illicine, for being such great coaches these past few months. I look forward to working closely with the general government team and serving you all to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Number 5 is the introduction of new chief of police.
Mayor, our chief of police is sick and is not able to make it this evening. So in addition to not being able to introduce him, there are 2 items on your agenda for a monthly report and an annual report that we're going to need to postpone to your next council meeting.
Okay, we can do that. All right, then the next thing is a temporary adjournment for the purpose of holding the monthly meeting of the Carpinteria Library Board of Trustees. I'm still downloading. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. What's that?
Is, if I may ask a
Yeah, yeah.
question, is Brian, City Clerk, is Granicus down?
Vice Mayor, it was, and I've heard that it's back online. Let me see. Maybe it's still down.
I know, I'm on my phone, and I believe Councilmember Namura was having issues as well. Do you need copies of anything? If
We'll just do it this way, but I don't have, see, it's just, there's no agenda for them.
Yeah, it looks like it's still down.
Yeah, there's no agenda for it.
Here.
I have the proclamation.
Okay.
Sure. All right, we're calling the meeting to order, and may we have a roll call, please?
President Clark, all board members are accounted for.
And confirmation of legal noticing, et cetera.
All legal noticing and procedural requirements for the meeting have been met. President Clark.
All right, thank you. Now we'll open up the meeting for public comment about matters not otherwise on our Library Board of Trustees agenda this evening, but still within the purview of the Carpinteria Library. So anybody like to comment in this regard? And seeing none, do we have anybody on Zoom, Brian?
Let me check, Mayor. No raised hands.
Thank you very much. We'll close the public comment period, and we'll go to item number 4, proclamation proclaiming September 2024 as Library Card Sign-Up Month. So does everybody have a proclamation?
Yep. Would you like me to read it? Start?
Yes, may you do that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whereas the month of September is recognized as Library Card Sign-Up Month nationwide, and
Whereas libraries provide a learning environment that fosters exploration, encouraging all ages to research subjects that they are genuinely curious about, and
Whereas librarians create welcoming and inclusive spaces for people of all backgrounds to learn together and engage with one another, and
Whereas libraries provide a variety of books and resources to serve everyone in the community, making knowledge and ideas available so that people have the freedom to choose what to read, and
Whereas the library card empowers all people to explore new passions and interests, and
whereas libraries are continually transforming to deliver new services that connect closely with the community needs.
now therefore the Carpinteria Library Board of Trustees hereby proclaims the month of September 2024 as Library Card Sign-Up Month in Carpinteria and encourages all residents to sign up for their own library card today. So, does somebody have a motion?
so moved.
second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0, and now we'll open up the public comment period for anybody that would like to speak about the proclamation that we just read. And seeing none, is there anyone on Zoom, Brian?
President Clark, there are no raised hands.
We'll close the public comment period, and we will,
We have
we
a team here to accept that.
have a team?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we'll meet the team.
Yes. You can have someone else take the picture. Leah's on the board too with the friends. I can take the video.
Oh.
It's okay.
I got this, Leah.
All right. Okay. Do you want to accept the photo?
Oh,
Come on, Amanda.
that's gotcha. Thank you, Jeanette.
Great. She's your actor. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Get her in the picture. Okay, come on in. Come on in. Ready? Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Okay. Approval of minutes?
Move to approve?
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor say aye. Motion passes 5-0, Brian. And now it's time for the September 2024 Community Library Report.
Thank you so much. I'm going to just do a quick update on the summer. We are, the public library survey has opened from the state, so there will be an avalanche of stats coming your way soon. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say that we had about 245 individual participants for summer reading this summer. Many children attended weekly to report on their progress and to get their prizes. And we had a lot of programming this summer with not a lot of attendance, and we're trying to figure out why that is and when to hold our programs, because JGs is a big part of summer, and I think people are exhausted in the afternoons, but then if it's in the morning, people are JGs. So we're trying to figure out when. Is it maybe Saturday mornings or something? But in any event, we were disappointed in the program attendance, but we felt really proud of the program that we did, and so that's where we're at on summer reading. World's Safest Bingo was held as per from July and August. The weather was not great. I was joking on our last night of bingo in August that it was inclement weather. I think it was 65 or 62 or something like that. But it really did curtail participation, even though it is just the most fun thing happening in the city. I'm just going to say. It's really fun. And thank you to Natalia and Monica for stepping in as MC for World Safest Bingo at some point during the summer. We Partners in Education is teaching a basic computer class Monday and Wednesdays at the library and has been hugely successful. It's, I think there's 23 people in the English class and something like 25 people in the Spanish language class. And these are folks that are coming back to the library for this class twice a week for 6 weeks to learn basic computer skills. It's just been absolutely wonderful to see. Partners in Education is an amazing partner to work with. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to them, and also this is 40, almost 45, for more than 45 people that are getting basic computer skills and a computer at the end of it so that they can, live a more functional life at home with their computer, to do forms, to fill out applications, to do all the things that one needs a computer for. Homework Help was a resource that the state library was providing to all public libraries in California. And at the end of August this year, they stopped supporting it across the state financially. So the library picked up that resource, paying for that resource. It's $2,000 for the year. It's not very much money. It affords every person homework help between the hours of 10 in the morning to 7 at night on subjects from, lots of subjects, most subjects, and up into college level classes. And the people who are at the other end of that online service are retired teachers, grad students, people who are qualified to teach in their subject area. And they provide writing assessment and support and help. You send in your writing sample. It gets back to you in 24 hours with some suggestions about where and how to do your writing in a better way. Math is done with a whiteboard on the computer with particular subjects. So you log in, you say what grade you are, you say what subject you want help with, and they find a tutor someplace in the country that is going to help you. And these people are all vetted. It's an amazing, amazing service. So we're trying to get the word out about that. It's available to everyone from home. It's geolocated, which means if you are going to this site from a computer, as long as it's located, your IP address is in California, you can get access to this. So come and get a library card. It's worth a lot. So I also wanted to say that we have, in addition to the homework help, we have homeschooling resources. So we have a page on our website for homeschoolers. Not everyone is in school. And so on the library's website, the resource page provides information on connecting local homeschooling groups and kids with other people who are homeschooling. I apologize for the statistics note in here. It's it's not very much information. I should have come back with better detail. But what I want to say is, anecdotally, library usage at the Carpinteria Community Library has increased threefold since the city started managing the library. People who are working there told me that there would be, if there were 100 people in the library on a day, it was a regular day. And we now regularly have 300 people in the library in a day. And on Wednesday last, we had 370 people. I think it was the record. So we are busy over there, and I just want you to know that your support of the library is really making a difference. People are coming and using the library. Circulation has risen by 10% compared to the same period last year, so that means that we're checking out 10% more items than we were before. And there's one more statistic that I wanted to share. Sorry. We have added 1,325 new patrons this year. So feeling really good about those numbers. I'm going to a national conference leaving tomorrow. It's in Massachusetts. It's for the Association of Small and Rural Libraries. So I've been saying that those are my people. It's libraries and library staff who have a service area population of less than 25,000 people. So they're all folks who are working with small communities and trying to provide big services. And so I think it's going to be really beneficial to all of us to have me go and get information there. And then I wanted to invite Gabby Edwards up to the podium to give the last part of this report, which is, she'll tell you. Come on up, Gabby.
So has this been a secret?
Not really.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for your support for the library. This is the story of a telephone call. And as you may recall, we've had amazing telephone calls at the Friends of the Library, unsolicited donations. For example, the Summerlin $150,000 to upgrade the library was an unsolicited telephone call. This is the story of a phone call from a person who wants to be anonymous, who wanted to make a gift to the library through the Friends of the Library. And he called Jean, who called me because she was going to be out of town, and I called Jody and said, could we meet with this person in the next 24 hours? And knowing that Jody's passion at the moment was the expansion of our literacy program, all of our volunteers and everything that's going on in that regard, this all fits together. And this person said, we would like to give, in honor of our parents, $50,000. And their interest is literacy. And so Jody sort of outlined for them the possibilities, later wrote it up, of course, and this person said that is exactly what our parents would love. And so the check came last week, and we asked for wording, and the wording, I think, is so spectacular for the whole community, because it says, the gift is made in honor of John R. and Thelma L. Schmidhauser and their love of reading, learning, and the city of Carpinteria. So really, the Friends can't take credit for it. The city of Carpinteria and the love of reading and learning, which is such a part of what our library is, takes credit for this. So congratulations to all Carpinterians for this amazing gift from the Schmidhauser family in honor of their parents, whom I think probably many of you knew.
That's very nice.
That's all I've got.
Okay, any questions?
Sure. For the computer classes, is this a
Yes.
one-time class, or is Partners in Education looking to do another round at some point?
Well, they are spreading themselves across the county of Santa Barbara, so I think they're going to maybe Guadalupe next. They have a couple of other places I know, and they were in Lompoc, so they're trying to do this program in a sort of equitable way across the county. I'd love to have them annually, but
Okay.
and we did have a good turnout, so that bodes well for us.
No,
So,
that's
yeah.
amazing. And I wanted to say, so I'm sorry to hear that the summer programming attendee numbers were not high. I did go to some of the events, and they were very good. I had gone to the story time, and then I don't know if the Magician was part of the summer programming.
Yes.
They were phenomenal events. So I think the libraries, you and your staff put on really, really good programming, and we'll just have to help pump up the attendance for next year, because it was high quality events. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the magic show was really fun. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right, thank you very much. We'll adjourn the library trustees and reconvene now as the Carpinteria City Council. Put our other hats back on. And we'll go to the city manager's report.
Yes, Mayor, Council residents, I'm going to be joined by Mindy Fogg from our Community Development Department and Jeanette Gant from our Parks, Recreation, Community Services Department to help me provide some information on some things coming out of their departments. And I will just give a brief update on some recruitments. So in addition to Ryan, who you just had a chance to meet, we also had another limited term position for an environmental program specialist. We made a offer today, and it has.
Oops, sorry.
She doesn't know it has. It was verbally accepted, so we're just in a process of getting that letter out and signed, and then going through all of the formalities. So we're excited about that, and hoping to get them started in the next few weeks. And then we still have our parks and facilities attendant part-time positions open. There's going to be more than one, so I encourage people to apply. I've had these positions in other cities, and they work really well for students that are going to school and looking to work instead, weekends or evenings outside of their school schedules. It also works as a nice, fun and flexible second job for anybody who's looking to make some extra money. They'll be dealing with rentals at the Vets Hall, so hosting parties and doing some fun stuff. So if anyone interested in coming to work for the city and being a parks and facilities attendant, please come on over. I will now turn it over to Jeanette Gant to give you some updates on some community events.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Jeanette Gant, Parks, Recreation, Community Services Director. Some really great updates for you all, what's been going on in the department. As many of you know and joined us for, which thank you, Agewell hosted a vibrant Dia de los Abuelos event on Wednesday, August 28th. The turnout was phenomenal. We had over 100 attendees, and we weren't quite sure how many, but I don't think even Jenna could have predicted that many. So they had a great time. There was art crafted by girls from Girls Inc., and children shared why their grandparents held such a special place in their lives. Guests also enjoyed an array of food and were treated to a dance performance from the Shogun, excuse my mispronunciation of that one, dance studio. The Dia de los Abuelos celebration was just a huge success, so we can't thank the community enough for coming out and really showing support. This past Saturday, Agewell also had its excursion to the community pool, which was really nice to see. They joined us at the pool from about 11 to 1 and brought bring your own picnic lunch, and many of them got in the water and just got to enjoy. It was perfect timing with that really hot weather that we've been experiencing as well. And then finally, Ocean Beach Services swim platforms and buoys were removed by aquatic staff, and a huge thank you to the Public Works Department for all their help and support in getting those platforms and buoys in and out of the water. We could not have done it without them. So, and we will be running lifeguard services at the beach weekends only through Avocado Fest. So the last day for beach lifeguard services for this year will be Sunday, October 6th.
I just want to second what your thanks to Jenna and to Amy for the Abuelos event. That was phenomenal. I hope that it shows that there is a real hunger and a need in the community for some of these culturally themed events, Spanish-speaking events. So I wanted to ask, is there any plan going forward to have more of this given the success of the Abuelos event?
Oh, absolutely, yes. That Monday, Jenna and Amy returned to work with just so many ideas, and they're already planning some future events. And then November Saturday excursion might be a Spanish-speaking event, but more to come for all on that one.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
If I may, I do have a question. Thank you for your report out. And I'm wondering if with the end of summer and the lifeguards now being on the beach on the weekends, can you provide us maybe at the next city council meeting a recap of any large incidents that may have occurred throughout the summer?
Absolutely, Vice Mayor Alarcon. We're on the same page. On our to-do list is to gather all the data from any incidents that have occurred over the summer, and I'd be happy to provide a report for you all next meeting.
Great, thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have just a couple items on the City Manager's report. One is that our General Plan Update Committee for September 16th is canceled while we continue to work on the administrative draft of the land use element. And we will release that element and the community design element well ahead of our next scheduled General Plan Update Committee meeting, which is scheduled for October 21st. And the second item is that we received an email from the Santa Barbara County planning staff regarding the Red Tail development for 182 housing units, which is also known as the Baylord Multifamily Housing Project. They emailed us to let us know that that application has been deemed complete, which means that they have provided everything required on the application checklist. But it also means that now the county has to begin a comprehensive policy consistency review of that project. And as you may remember, it was submitted under the Builders Remedy Housing Accountability Act provisions. So that project, which is just on the outskirts of our city boundary, does not necessarily have to meet the zoning, the county zoning for that site. But the county still has to do a comprehensive review of what policies, programs, and other regulations, plans, programs that it is not consistent with. And so they've asked us to also provide a review of where the project is going to affect the city, such as in their road improvements, which are within city boundaries, and including a potential traffic roundabout next to Monte Vista Park. And so they've asked us to take a close look at the project, especially the road improvements, and provide them also with a list of policies that apparently it's inconsistent with, or that there's not enough information in the packet to determine if it's consistent. And so we're going to be working on that and trying to get them that list by the end of this week. I'm sure you have some questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, if I may, what can you talk about a little bit more about what that review document is like? You mentioned that it has to do with the ways that like the city might be impacted by this property that is technically in county land. So what would that review look like?
You mean in terms of us looking and seeing which policies are not consistent? Mm-hmm. Well, we would look at our road design standards. We would look at our stormwater infrastructure and design requirements. We would also probably look at, how are they going to get their utilities, and where are they going to extend utilities within the city that would potentially affect other things within the city. We will also probably look at our local coastal plan policies as well.
Okay, no, that's helpful to know. And then knowing that this is such a big topic of interest for the community, even though this is a county project, is there a way for residents to voice their opinion or to weigh in as the process continues?
Well, this email to us was not necessarily opening up a public review at this time. There will still have to be hearings on the project at the county, which will prompt a specific public comment and review. But I always like to tell people, you can comment anytime, and you can reach out to the county. They have their planning department has an email, pad@sbcounty.org. And you can always ask to see the latest set of plans and be able to provide letters to the department, so you don't have to necessarily wait for one of those milestones.
Okay, that's helpful to know. So hopefully anybody who wants to be opining on the process will be able to go. That's one of the avenues they can take.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
If I may.
Yeah.
So when the city does its city policy consistency review, it sounds as though it will be in a letter. Will that letter be public? Can we publish that on our website? I believe we might have the Hot Topics link so that there's additional transparency with the public and they may not have to wait until it becomes public with the county.
That's a great idea, Jenna. I'll check with Jenna's team first just to make sure, but I don't see why not. If we're mailing it to the county, it should be public document.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. You want to go, Jenna? So tomorrow at the school board meeting, they'll be discussing closed session and negotiations with the county. Does the city plan to comment on the closed session matters?
I was not aware of that closed session, so I may have to defer to Michael or Jenna.
Councilmember Lee, through the mayor, I wasn't aware, I don't know what the closed session is agendized for, but that's something that we could take a look at. Did they provide information, do you know, about that specific site?
No, it just says that negotiations between the county and the school board about the site off Baylor.
About that specific site?
Correct.
We can look into it, but we would not be providing comment without your council's direction.
Well, what kind of comment could we provide, and what would you suggest?
Councilmember Lee, through the mayor, if you can give me one moment, I'll pull up their agenda, and then I can have a better idea of what is agendized.
Okay, we can go to Wade then.
Thank you. My question regards also not only city impacts, but also within the infrastructure of the city. That includes water, sanitation, all of the above. If those groups have also been brought into the process, looking at this may be just the beginning. So it would be good if we had in-process places put in there and processes put in where we could control and actually have an idea of where they're going, because potentially it could be pretty big if they get this one through.
It's my understanding that they do have to reach out to all those agencies that have to provide services. So the county should be reaching out to them as well, but absolutely, we agree.
So they haven't done an environmental review yet, is that correct?
Well, that is that is interesting. So this project has not done I'm sorry. This is, these builders remedies projects are new for us, and the new housing laws are new for us. What the county did was they did a program EIR for all their rezones, for which this was one site that they did analyze. And so the site itself has already been analyzed in a program EIR. The question is going to be next, as they review this specific application, what might they require under CEQA further to evaluate the impacts? It could be that it's just a reliance on their program EIR, or it could be a project-specific mitigated negative declaration, or a project-specific supplemental EIR. We really don't know. We can only speculate at this point.
And then this project still has to go to the Coast Commission, right? Even though it's a builder's remedy?
That is our understanding, although that hasn't fully been tested yet. This leads us back to some of the case law that's going on as we speak, such as the Redondo Beach case, which was a builder's remedy project denied in the coastal zone, and the applicant is fighting that in court. I think they're now on their first appeal.
I think you're correct. It's really going to it's going to be a wait and see how the case law shakes out for a lot of these things. So we're in new territory on some of this.
So then what happens if the county, as just an example, the red tail is approved, but the case law hasn't been decided, then is the red tail in hiatus until?
No, I don't think, Mayor Clark, I don't think that's necessarily how it would occur. It's just there are going to be decisions made without knowing how courts would react until a project gets appealed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's more. And then going back, if I may,
Yeah.
I'll respond to Councilmember Lee's question once again through the mayor. So it does appear that they have a closed session to discuss the real property negotiations. So under negotiation is the price in terms of sale for the Baylord Avenue properties. I wouldn't recommend that the council make any direction to have staff go and make a comment at that closed session because that has not been agendized on tonight's meeting for the main reason. However, it does provide an opportunity for any of you all as private members of the community or any resident to go and make public comments right before this closed session. So as you know, a closed session item is an item on the agenda, and there will be a public comments section open before the school board goes into closed session.
Yeah, one other thing, to finish out what I was talking about also, taking a look at the public and community services that are going to be impacted also, because with the increase that many units, it's going to increase substantially our percentage of population and residents. That would include law enforcement, by the way. So all those factors I think we have to take a look at and actually have them address. I would be very specific with those specific services that we offer currently to the public in the city.
Thank you. We will take that into account as well.
Mayor, if there's no additional questions, there's normally on this city manager's report, I don't always cover every item, but in this case, we only have one that's left off, so I feel now like I should at least cover that. So there's a FEMA 90-day appeal and comment period for proposed updates to the flood insurance rate maps for communities countywide, including Carpinteria. The 90-day appeal and comment period is an opportunity for the communities to submit comments to FEMA, and a notice of this was posted in the Coastal View on September 5th, and I have John Alassen here, Director of Public Works, if there's any questions about that. Otherwise, that concludes my report.
All right. Planning Commission report? Planning Commission actions?
Oh, Mayor, first we have public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Amrita Psalm?
Good evening. This is kind of related to what Wade was discussing. I was wondering, is the city able to put any pressure on the utility companies? In other words, you have 185 units or 184, whatever it is, which is just the number of units, not the number of people living there. And in the last 35 years that I've lived in Carp, I have never known the Water District not to approve every single development project that's come before them. So is there some way that the city has enough clout or influence that we can figure out what do they have criteria for approvals of every project that goes before them? And I guess that would also be true for sanitation, fire district, school district, whatever, including, of course, the city of Carp. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Rogelio Delgado.
Rogelio del Thank you. 2018, we discussed the Baylor farm. They were planning on giving it away, $2 million. I said, well, you're crazy. It's worth twice as much. So they put it up for sale for $4.2 million. Purchase agreement signed. Tomorrow, what they're doing is negotiate the new purchase agreement. It's not 4.2 million. I evaluate that 7.5 million, at least. I've been a real estate broker for 16 years. I know my stuff. Now, they're doing this. I have always followed the law. Always. Everything has to be transparent. Yes or no? This is not a private sale. No, it's a public sale. Where the community has to be informed beforehand. It's public money. And thousands of people are against this project. Save the Baylor firm. Thousands of letters have been mailed. Condo associations, Casitas Village, Villa del Mar, have attorneys. There's been meetings, hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been there. And they're against this project. Sanitation, traffic, noise, potential for more crime. A long list of problems. So I think, and the most important thing, the Baylor people are against it. The homeowners are against it. Renters are against it. I can provide hundreds of signatures, hundreds of families. So I'm putting up my best effort. Believe me, my best effort to not only delay this, but avoid it. Because who is going to be affected the most? Our people. And yeah, I think we have to fight this together. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. All right, now we'll go to Planning Commission actions.
Thank you. Yes, we had one item at the September 3rd Planning Commission hearing. This was the Ebeling Vanderkar lot split project at 435 Conchaloma Road, or Conchaloma Drive. It included a tentative parcel map and a coastal development permit to divide a single pre-developed lot of almost 20,000 square feet into two parcels in the 6R1 single-family residential zone. 4 commissioners were present and unanimously voted to approve the project and make variance findings to allow for modified setbacks and parking requirements. And that concludes my report.
All right, any questions on that? No? It sounds like a good action. All right, now we'll take public comment on the Planning Commission actions. And seeing none, we'll Ask if anybody's on Zoom.
Mayor, we have no raised hands.
All right, we'll close the public comment period. And now we'll take public comment on matters not on the agenda. That is not on tonight's agenda for the City Council, but still within the purview of the City of Carpinteria. So I have a couple of speaker slips here. Stephen Markison, please.
Evening, City Council, Mayor, staff. Here again to say how troubling it is the Island Brewing Company can continue to be such a nuisance. I'm here to report back on the state of the sound mitigating efforts that we were told about May 28th. Sunshades over the patio, a banner at the rear of the staging area, a sun tent over the stage. Was all this high-tech equipment found at a thrift store? How about a van blocking a pathway? Does anyone in this room really think that's going to work? When will the City of Carpinteria recognize the IBC is simply put not capable of mitigating the sound they put out? The IBC is not in a suitable location for outdoor live entertainment. There is no way to contain the sound they produced. The brilliant suggestions that we hole up in our home and get noise-canceling headphones to achieve zero noise is great. But what about the other people that are disturbed by the IBC? What should they do? And I'd like to just take a minute of silence so we can all hear what ambient noise is. We can hear traffic, we can hear people whispering, we can hear all kinds of natural sounds that are normal. That's what we should have, just ambience. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And Eileen Markison, please. Welcome, Eileen.
Thank you. Honestly, I couldn't imagine the hate that would be directed at my household when 1 year ago my household began making appearances before the City Council to ask for some assistance in restoring our quiet enjoyment. A year ago, I would have described myself as thin-skinned and a snowflake. My mental health has taken some hits this year, but I'm standing before you. So I want to thank the CVN photojournalist, Robin Carlson, for her weekend post to Facebook, which actually prompted me to make my appearance tonight. This past weekend, on Friday night, a Facebook post was made by a Carpinteria resident, Lisa Patch, on a page called Carpinteria World's Safest Beach, sometime after 7 p.m. It read, "Code compliance, camped out at the corner of Dorrance and Linden, measuring the Island Brew music levels. couldn't hear the music over the incessant ding of the train crossing bells. Then he moved into 3rd Street to measure in front of the house. Definitely could not hear any music there between the continued train sounds and a very loud truck going by. Not such a benign post as you might think, especially for this resident who lives in the house. You can read the post. It's a lot of gaslighting, hate, opportunistic posts. There were 49 comments and 88 likes to this. And I would ask that you pay special attention to those posts made by one Cheryl Wright, Island Brewing Company's owner. This post was triggered, by the way, by a sighting of a code compliance officer on Friday night. So reading some of these Facebook posts, I was reminded of March 25th and the narrative that emerged about my household. And I'm going to quote Bill Wellman, who spoke first. One family is taking it upon itself to destroy a business because they can hear good music during traditional non-quiet hours. One family wants to control the behavior of hundreds of residents and tourists. That was echoed throughout public comment that evening. I'm here tonight to kind of lean into my household's pariah status in the community. I'm okay with it a year later. But I would ask that staff, council, be sensitive to my neighbor, who has also been before you, who has also written letters to the CVN, who is a full-time resident, who is a community member in good standing, a decent person, who makes contributions to those nonprofits that, you hear about, as testimonials. She is a musician. She supports the arts. Forget about us. Do the right thing for my neighbor, who is the most sensitive receptor in the beach neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Ann Matson, please. Welcome, Ann.
Mayor Clark and City Council, I'm here to talk about something positive, and that would be the Age Well Pickleball Program that was started this summer, thanks to Jenna Jenkins and Eric Tregeris and a few other volunteers. We met at the middle school courts, and of course we were able to play in the mornings because school wasn't in session. But now that school's back in session, the public courts are off limits until after school. But Girls Inc. has generously donated their gym, where they have 2 pickleball courts, for the Age Well program. So that's working out really well, but it's not sustainable in the long run. We need more courts in Carpinteria. And over the past several years, our group has spoken to the City Council. We've spoken to Matt Roberts, to Amber Workman, to Jeanette Gant, to Michael Ramirez, and they've all been very supportive of pickleball courts, but it all comes down, the bottom line has always been money. A group of us, in fact, we're all here tonight, Stephen Gertois, Eric Tregeris, and I, have searched, we scoured Carpinteria for a viable spot for pickleball courts. And the best option is the city-owned parcel at Lagunitas Park. There's already a conceptual plan drawn up for 4 pickleball courts and a dog park. And the Carpinteria Pickleball Club is ready to fundraise for this project. But the city must take the first step I know there's all kinds of studies that you have to do and permits and legal this and that. And that all needs to happen first before we can fundraise. We need something to fundraise for. But we're all willing and waiting to do that. So it's up to you 5 council members to take action. And so we urge you to put the Lagunitas Pickleball Project on your agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Eric Trigueros. Welcome, Eric.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and staff. I want to thank you for allowing me to give my 2 cents here. As you just heard Ann talk about the Age Well program, I actually wanted to say thank you for that program. Ann first asked me, she knew that I was teaching an introductory course at Dynamite Pickleball at the fairgrounds in Santa Barbara. And she explained to me that there was a program called Age Well, introduced me to Jenna, and asked me if I would teach an introductory course here. I was skeptical at the beginning. For 12 years, I taught in my previous career, and I didn't want to teach anything anymore. But believe it or not, this is amazing. The program is amazing. I've taught 2 different subjects in my previous career. It was a life and death type subject that I taught. I was paid for it, and now I'm teaching something that is completely recreational. But let me tell you 2 things that have happened in both of those different entities. In the 12 years that I taught in my previous career, I was involved in the teaching of about approximately 22,000 people in about a 12-year span. In all those years, I had one individual come up to me and say, "You saved my life." It's the best reward you could ever receive. I never expected to get that here, where I had a person who was 80-some years old come up to me and said, I would have been sitting on my couch or going on a short walk or working in my garden. I never expected to be on a court with a paddle in my hand chasing a ball with holes in it. You saved my life. It's amazing that I get that same response from 2 very, very different subjects. So again, I thank you for that program, because what you are doing for the community, for the senior community in the city, is amazing. With that being said, I'm going to piggyback on what Ann was talking about. When I stood here, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, before, I said that we had taken a rough count of how many people were playing pickleball in this city, and we said that there was probably anywhere from maybe 150 to 200 people. We have doubled that amount in that short a time. It is the fastest growing sport in the nation. We are the only community of all these cities, from Oxnard all the way as far up as SLO, that does not have dedicated pickleball courts. And the pickleball community is growing. Plus, we have this other dynamic that has just happened. So now if you go onto the national apps for pickleball courts, we are shown there now. And so we are getting people driving. We have 2 ladies that I spoke to a few months ago that were driving up and down the state, or went Northern California and then drove down, going to all these different cities playing pickleball, and they came here. The other thing that has happened is now all the people that are playing pickleball and are coming camping, they are actually coming to our courts to play. Approximately 2 Saturdays ago, there were more people from the campgrounds playing pickleball than there were locals. So it's not getting better, it's getting worse. We have had to shorten our games now to 9 players. I think when we left the courts about an hour and a half ago, there must have been about 22 people on the courts. So we want to partner with you, but we need your help in order to find a location and so that we can get some courts for the community, especially for what it's doing for the senior community here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Rogelio Delgado. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Rogelio Delgado, Carpinteria resident. And voy a hablar primero en español y después traduciré en inglés. La fuerza de mi mensaje siempre ha sido no en la traducción al inglés, sino la fuerza de mi voz en español. He venido aquí a las juntas del gobierno desde enero. Nada más faltado una vez. Y lo que yo quiero decirle a la comunidad, a ustedes, al personal, que están haciendo un excelente trabajo para mí. Yo creo que andan por ahí en un 80%. Y estoy orgulloso de cada uno de ustedes. Al, Roy, a Mónica, Natalia, Zamora, and staff. Thank you for your time. Now, elections are coming. This is the Hispanic Heritage Month, así que quiero decirle a mi gente que voten, salgan a votar este noviembre, que apoyen a la persona que vaya a sustituir a Roy Lee, que apoyen a Natalia, que apoyen a Nomura. Ustedes aquí son el núcleo, the nucleus of the city government, and I'm telling my people to endorse you, to actually make this last 2 more years, 4 more years. And believe me, people listen. La gente escucha. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, consent calendar?
Okay. I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held August 26, 2024, and receive and file the expenditures for the period beginning August 19, 2024, and ending August 30th, 2024.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 5-0, Brian. We're off to item number 8, the first amendment to agreement between Carpinteria Skate Foundation and the City of Carpinteria for Skate Park Youth Services.
Good evening, good Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Tonight, I'm presenting the First Amendment to the agreement with Carpinteria Skate Foundation, and I'm seeking Council's approval for the City Manager to sign it. In August 2023, the city partnered with the Carpinteria Skate Foundation to manage the skate park and run youth programs. Under this agreement, CSF creates and runs their own programs, and they give the city 10% of the fees paid from those programs. Over the past year, CSF has run after-school programs, provided free community events, and a summer camp. Both the city and CSF would like to continue this agreement with a few updates to make it clearer and more efficient. The main changes include allowing CSF to pay an annual damage deposit instead of per event, and clarifying that their insurance covers both youth programs and their special events. Details of these changes are in the staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Just a little clarifying question. What is the difference between those two, the annual damage deposit versus the per damage, and what was the impetus for the change?
Yeah, it was largely to alleviate the administrative burden of the Carpinteria Skate Foundation producing a damage deposit, the city processing it, and then after each event having to process that refund each time. They held roughly 9 or so events this last fiscal year, and so just the administrative time of depositing, cutting a check, back and forth. So due to the partnership, we decided that an annual deposit should be sufficient to cover the events.
Got it. So it's efficiency then?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And is that mutually agreeable?
Yes.
If I may. So in terms of the city receiving 10% of the gross fees from the city-approved paid programs, what are we doing with those dollars that we receive?
Like the fees we get from recreation programming, they're going into the general fund, and they're counted as revenue for that program.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, we'll open the public comment period, and I have a slip from Peter Bonning. Welcome, Peter.
Mayor, council, staff, thank you so much. 1 year into the skate park, coinciding nicely with the 15th anniversary of the Carpinteria Skate Foundation. Not my first time at this podium, as it turns out, but under these circumstances, it's much less stressful, we'll say. It feels amazing to have stood here so many times talking about the benefits that could come from creating a multi-generational, multi-use recreational facility for our community that could serve a vast variety of demographics and draw people into the community and be a revenue stream and create all these opportunities. And then to be here a year later and have the actual proof that it has done the things that we said it was going to do. Our organization takes great pride in having worked with y'all to create this space for the community. And the programming has been beneficial to the school district, and I'd say to the community as a whole. Of course, as a small nonprofit that provides services to the community at no cost to the community, we would love to not pay the 10% to the city, but we totally understand, and we're happy to do so and willing to do so. It's I think a small fee to be able to execute our goals and objectives in the way that we feel they should be executed. The organization loves the fact that the city is so supportive of what we do, so trusting of us in the events we have, the summer camps we have, the implementation of my middle school students over here on a weekly basis to engage in the civic component of the program that I created for the school district. It's very affirming to be standing here now knowing that we have the full backing of you and of the community, and we hope that this is really just the start of so much more. It was 9, the actual number of events we had. I don't even know, but that exceeds my expectations for the first year. And I think the most important thing is people are having a lot of fun over there. And I was just over there skating before I came over here, and it was 3 or 4 families, moms and dads, kids of all ages, skating with their kids, hanging out. I mean, it's such a positive place for everybody. So thank you so much for everything. Thanks for keeping us into consideration as we move forward. And thank you so much for being such great partners to us and to the community and making sure this place is a positive outlet for everybody.
Thank you, Peter. Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom?
Mayor, we have no raised hands.
All right. We'll bring it back to the City Council.
I'll move to authorize the city manager to execute the agreement with the Carpinteria Skate Foundation.
Second.
We have a motion and a motion and a second. That's right, the second comes second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0, Brian, and now we are...
Peter, good job.
Thank you.
Yep. Legislative update.
That's me. Mayor, council members, I just have one update and an update on an update. So the bill that is included in your packet tonight is AB 98. This bill would impose new restrictions on development or expansion of large warehouses, including new setback requirements from homes and schools and new trucking route requirements. The bill would also impose landscaping and screening requirements, such as a wall or a landscape burn. It's intended to address long-held complaints about air pollution, truck traffic, noise, and other problems associated with locating large warehouses near neighborhoods. However, the Cal Cities League of California Cities is opposing this bill because, in their opinion, it injects the state deeply into decisions that have generally been the province of local governments. So in this case, it's not, with housing as much as just land use in general. So that's where I understand the Cal Cities to be coming from in their opposition, even though some of the benefits, some of the benefits of this bill may be realized by other cities. AB 98 was passed so in terms of status, AB 98 was passed by the Assembly in March and by the Senate on August 31st. And so August 31st was more or less the end of the legislative session. So it's now on the governor's desk awaiting his signature. And then I have a quick update also. At the last meeting at the end of August, I presented on AB 2561, which at that point had just been revised 2 days before, I think. The revised version of the bill was passed. And so it's also awaiting signature by the governor. And this bill, the revisions did cut out some of that really problematic additional process for local agencies to go through if they were dealing with a recognized public employee organization. However, the Cal Cities or League of California Cities has still not taken a position on that bill, whether to oppose or support.
Good old 2561. Can you remind me what that is?
Apologies. Yes, Mayor Clark. So AB 2561, it's a bill about certain requirements for public agencies to undertake in regards to public employment and in regards to interacting with public employee organizations. So it would authorize a recognized public employee organization to initiate the meet and confer process with a public agency if at the time of the request, the total number of job vacancies within total classifications of the bargaining unit is equal to or exceeds 20% of the total authorized positions in that bargaining unit. And so it would also require a public agency to present the status of vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts during a public hearing before the governing board at least once per fiscal year prior to the adoption of its final budget. What I believe has been culled out of the bill, based on the last amendment, was that it would prohibit. So it no longer entitles a recognized public employee organization to present at that same public hearing about vacancies, et cetera. That's my understanding of the change. So a minor change. But it has been passed by the legislature, by both the House and the Senate and the Assembly.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right. Committee reports?
I'll just mention that the Ad hoc Harbor Seal Advisory Committee is going to be meeting this Thursday at 3 p.m. We had to reschedule from our normal time slot because of some scheduling problems. So it will be meeting this week instead.
Okay. Attendance at future meetings?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. In that case, we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:10.
What are you going to do for the next 2 hours?